Deepak Kaul from Red Hat. He has more than six years of experience in software quality. He likes cooking. Yes, he does. Enjoys movies and cricket. Now, at lightning speed, he will tell us why test automation promises more and delivers less.
Reliable and fast security audits, the modern and offensive way by Mohan, which will be happening here in track 1. Mohan, you want to give a quick...
Hello everyone, good afternoon. What we are going to discuss or show you is a real-time hands-on. If you have laptops and you want to connect to our machines to see what we are trying to do, you can do that. It's 1 hour we concentrate on how hackers do offensive activity to compromise your servers. Many of you are QA or testing, or you always do performance test or UI test or unit testing, but very few people concentrate on security testing. So this workshop will help you to combine security testing in a hacker way. You will also get to see how hacker works, right? So that's what it is. It'll not be a PPT based one. It'll be a workshop with a lot of cool stuff, cheat codes, and a lot of real-time live hacking stuff.
Thank you, Mohan. Second one is going to be rebooting the QA, which is going to happen in track 2 in that room, which is going to be run by Vikrant and Prabhu. Can I have Vikrant?
So this workshop of rebooting the QA is about how we can, as a QA, adapt to the new release cycles, the new market realities. How, as a QA, we can adopt our age-old practices, revamp them, and start using them in the current practices and be more faster, reliable, and smarter in testing.
The third one is going to be, did you check the UX quality, which is going to be by Rajashri and going to happen in track 3.
Hi. So these days when we are talking of interfaces and good UX, there are a lot of parameters which we miss. Probably when we are testing, we test the reliability of the engine or like how stable is my code. But often we miss out on stuff like, say I'm designing an interface for a construction worker standing under the scorching sun. So what are the parameters which would give him a good user experience and would help him do his task in a proper fashion? So are there some thumb rules or some rules which would help me take care of those factors in the absence of a designer? So could a quality analyst fill in those parameters and get a good product out? So that's what we are going to discuss. It's going to be a hands-on activity with some bit of a demonstration in the first half and a hands-on in the second half.
Thank you. And the fourth one is the speedboat workshop, which is going to happen in track 4, which is going to happen here, and that's going to be conducted by Sudeep.
Hello everyone. This particular workshop will be focused on more of getting out the pain points which you get used to get onto day in and day out while doing the QA activities. The pain points to find out what is stopping you in doing things more in a faster way, more in a reliable way, and more in a smarter way. So this will be a pretty hands-on workshop. Lot of discussions happening around how you can make things faster, how you can make things reliable. The purpose of this workshop is we go in a group, find out what are our pain points and what could be the possible solutions on those pain points. So this is what the workshop is about.
Thank you, Sudeep. So I would like you to take a quick couple of minutes, decide which workshop you want to go for. And again, track 1, which is reliable, track 1, which is here, that is reliable, fast and security audits, the modern offensive way happening here. Track 2, which is back in that room, rebooting the QA is going to be happening there. Track 3 has, did you check the UX quality, happening upstairs. And track 4, which is happening here, is the speedboat workshop. Thank you. So before we start, after the lunch, I think people, how it's in school and college lectures tend to fall asleep, right? So maybe we're going to do a quick energizer now. So the idea is, I am going to do some sort of a body language sign, and you're supposed to map it to a word. So if I do this, it's faster, all right? If I do this, it is smarter. If I do this, it's reliable. And if I do this, that's vodka, right? So I'm going to try this on Matangi and see if she's up to speed or she's sleepy. All right, ready? Okay, not bad. All right, so I'm going to do some signs now. I want everyone to shout out, okay, what I'm doing. Clearly, I mean, they are awake. I mean, awesome. But can we try the other way now? I will say the word and you guys do the action. Fair? Okay. I would like everyone to stand up for this. Come on, come on, come on, those sitting.
Stand on the table, I can see. I'll be saying. Just be saying it.
I'll be saying out the word. All right. Vodka. Faster. Smarter. Reliable. Faster. Vodka. Smarter. Reliable. Man, you guys are not bad. At least guys here are not bad. All right. Without wasting any more time, I'll hand you over to Mohan. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for the energizer. So what we are going to discuss now is it's a combination of both low-level testing methodology for security, as well if you don't test in the way that we show in a manual or an automated test, what happens, right? We have built a code which is a web application code, which is the most vulnerable code. It has almost every vulnerability, right? So we'd like to give you give you that as a takeaway, where you can take that application, you can test on your own to just check whether you have learned anything on this workshop or not, right? So what we do, as the title suggests, it's an offensive way, right? There are a lot of testings that happen on a application, right? Before I want to start this, I want to make one thing clear here. It has to be interactive, right? You stop me whenever you feel I'm going very fast or I'm going very slow. If you guys are feeling sleepy or you want more, like that. Before we start, I just want to understand my audience well. How many of you have tested at least one web application? Okay. How many of you have done input validations? Input validation testing. Okay. How many of you have done performance testing? Okay. So these are all irrespective of whether it's a web application or not, right? Now I'll ask you a question in a reverse way. How many of you have done validation for SQL injection, security testing? Okay, that's great. How many of you have done resilience of your website for an attack called DOS, denial of service? That's great. So I have one person who can connect to me. If at all I cannot clarify your doubts, he can do that. Right? So one more, the last one. How many of you tested your website for unit or performance or whatever it is, and how many of you tested for security testing, even the basic stuff like whether the user validations are done or the admin password is strong or not, whether it's encrypted or not, database is encrypted or not. Like, so it's all new, right? Security is all new, right? So either I'm going to boast a lot or you're going to love this, right? So why do you want to start is basically to fulfill that at least one of these numbers change from our side with our contribution, right? According to the White Hat Security Report, which is a research organization in offensive security, 86% of the websites that are live and running across the globe or across the internet have at least one critical security vulnerability. What do I mean by that is, let's say a group called LulzSec or Anonymous decided that I want to compromise the entire web. If they can join hands, they can take down that 86% of the websites in one way or the other, right? There are an average of 56 vulnerabilities which are critical, which are considered as top 10 vulnerabilities in any website. If at all they are there. Do you think that's a decreasing trend, or do you think it's an increasing trend? Okay. That's a downward trend. In 2007, each website which is vulnerable used to have 171 odd security vulnerabilities. Now it has 56. It is like that because of you guys who have been testing different other things other than security testing. So if you don't do the typical web application security audit or any testing, probably that number would have been high. So thanks to you guys. And let's say I identify a bug, right? Out of those 56 average bugs I identify, how many days you think it will take for me to fix that, resolve that, and deploy that back and retest it and validate that the security bug is not there in my website? On an average, according to White Hat report, it takes 193 days. So do you want to go ahead and do different kinds of testing and give a application which is highly vulnerable and let the customer face the heat of respending and wasting 193 days of time, whether to go ahead or not to go ahead? So this workshop concentrates on something called embedding this offensive security in SDLC lifecycle, right? Your testings are part of SDLC lifecycle, right? So we aim to embed that into this process, SDLC process, so that you save your clients those 193 average days time. And what is the impact of those three things? 285 million data records in just 90 breaches, which are considered as top 90 breaches, right? So that's how serious the security landscape is across the globe. Just to give you guys a thought process working. Why do those things happen? Those things happen because of lack of security testing? Yeah, you guys should answer that. Or is it because there are too many websites that gets added on a daily basis, right? In 2012, there are 51 million websites that were added, right, to the web. Out of which, how many would have been basically tested for functionality or basic performance testing, and how many would have gone for a security testing process, right? But what we believe as one of the major reasons for this is not the lack of emphasis on security. It's found everywhere. You go to any big names, probably ThoughtWorks would have some good bounty program as well, and they have a good security experts who is doing that. It's found in Google, it's found in Facebook. No matter what application you develop, how big or small, there is a definite chance that you can find security vulnerability. Why is that? Why is that irrespective of how many tests we do? Like other than functional testing or other than unit testing, you have defined test cases, you do them, and those test cases will not be repeated, right, once you fix them or once you audit them. But why is that it's happening in security? It's because hackers always catch up with security experts, right? So I have here a guy who's my colleague who found vulnerabilities in Yahoo. His name is Srikanth, who found vulnerabilities in Yahoo, Dropbox, BlackBerry, some big names. He's just 21-year-old, and it's because he's just catching up with the security guys. They don't have connectivity between what these guys have or we have. We trade, we exchange our secrets, we change our exploits, we improve the cheat codes, right? So that is one of the major reason why you find all these. And my reasons, and I'm here to solve one of these, which is to help you guys implement security testing in SDLC lifecycle. So the cost you incur to do a testing process before it's deployed, especially in SDLC lifecycle, is much lesser than once you deploy and do a testing called penetration testing. Security is now commoditized. What do I mean by that is you deploy a web application or you deploy a network and you ask security experts to come and do something called penetration testing. They keep poking each and every port, they keep poking each and every field that is there, whether it can be exploited or not. So that's how the traditional security has been post 2000s when the web picked up, right? Now mobile has picked up, still we are doing penetration testing. Once the application is deployed, that's when I test by taking that APK file if it's an Android one, right? What we feel would improve the security standards is to embed security testing by educating testing professionals or QA professionals like you, so that your company incurs a very marginal cost to do this. And you don't need too much of a rocket science or reverse engineering to basically understand how a hacker works. There are cheat codes, there are some basic stuff which can be embedded in SDLC lifecycle, which can avoid majority of the hacks, right? So how many of you would like to embed this in your testing process? Okay, we'll help you with the tools. We'll help you with educating you on how to use them. And then, yeah, it's difficult to find security guys. If you are a good hacker, you would never come out. If you are a good security guy, you'll have a lot of certifications around you. Once you have certifications around you, you'll charge a lot to the clients, so you can't afford to do security testing, right? So it's difficult to find those guys. Rather than spending time on finding those guys, it's better we empower ourselves with how to do security testing, right? It's costly, yeah, it's because of the first two reasons. Is it very difficult from typical testing? How many of you agree that security testing is different from what traditional testing is? Let's say input validation. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. Number is increasing. 6. Yeah, it's different, but the question is, it's not very different. The reason is, security is coming from a mindset perspective, right? What will come in testing as a mindset perspective? Again, functionality testing, right? So the customer defines you a functionality that has to be built in that website, and you check whether that functionality is there or not, right? So hacking or security testing is a mindshare driven testing rather than a typical checklist testing, right? So if you can do functional testing, I'm sure you can do security testing, given that you should know how a hacker thinks, how this guy thinks, how I think, right? So if you have that, you don't find it very different from what you do as testing process. Yeah, can only be performed by security experts. If you're looking for 100% security, yes. But if you're looking at mitigating majority of the risks, it can be done by everyone. So if I have been talking about a lot of stuff, like there are vulnerabilities, there are hacks, there are different other things which can exploit your website, take down your website. But today our focus would only be on website testing, right? Because majority of you have done the website testing, right? So what I'm going to give you guys is the top ones. I'm not going to teach you an umbrella of vulnerabilities and ask you to do these kind of tests for each and everything. In 1 hour's time, what we are going to teach you is something like top priority bugs to be tested and how easy they are to test, right? So you have top 10 WASP standard for security bugs, out of which we have taken the bugs which can easily be tested, right? So there are different standards for saying that this kind of bug is important than this kind of bug, right? So I can call any security bug as important bug because security is important, right? But there are some classifications, like if you have this WASP top 10 vulnerability, that means it's a high red alert critical situation. That means if you have any of these 10 vulnerabilities, what happens is either you are at loss, your brand is at loss, or your customer is at loss. Okay? Right? But these are not like privacy issues where you forgot to put your privacy settings in Facebook, somebody is watching your images, right? It's not like that. It's something which is critical, which has to be done right now. And then there is another class called WASP class. WASP is Open Web Application Security, and WASP is a different Web Application Security Consortium standard, where these are bunch of open source and open groups who say that this year, I think, based on the kind of attacks we are seeing, these 10 vulnerabilities are important, right? In the same way, WASP class is categorized in a way that, okay, these are 40 vulnerabilities I think are going to come and become high-risk vulnerabilities in future. Right? So there has to be a standard whenever you test for security, right? So in WASP Top 10, we are going to teach you both automated and manual tests. How many of you are professionals at manual testings? Okay. How many of you are good at automated tests? Okay, so the contest between both of you groups. Can the automated guys raise their hands? Okay. Can any of you tell what are the advantages, biggest advantages of automated testings? Anytime? Excellent.
We can run the suit overnight and publish the result in the early morning, and we can check each and every drop of file in our daily builds.
What he's trying to say is coverage, right? So fast, easy, right? Bigger pool, I can cover a lot of vulnerabilities to be tested, and yeah, can be done anytime as long as I have the domain knowledge. Now, you guys have to beat the automated guys. So I believe manual testing is better than automated guys. It's my personal belief. How many of you think has better advantages than what automated testing is? Yeah.
Actually, it depends. Say the particular product is in the early stage of its development and is pretty unstable at this point of time. Then there is an edge of manual testing over automation testing.
So I think the automated team is winning. You guys want to give up? Manual guys? Yeah. So he said it depends on the stage at which the application is. For example, your application is not fully developed and you want to cover certain tasks, then just testing it in like 5 minutes part, manual is more efficient than what automated is. And what he's saying is you have to combine both at some point or the other so that you cover both as well as the efficiency part. So manual guys are giving up. Okay, so I'm going to take the manual side because I believe in that. How it is different from is, as I said, security testing is more of a what? Is more of a behavior? Exploitatory in nature? It's more of a mind share, right? How many of you think the tools that people are using are built with those mind share? Let's take IBM, okay? Any IBM guys here? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So nothing personal, nothing against IBM. We love you guys. We use your product. How many of top-notch anonymous guys or lulsec guys or real-time hardcore hackers can work in IBM environment or can develop products? Can 2 hackers develop awesome products? Okay, so basically the thought I want to raise here is your mind share, right, which is very important in security auditing, is not basically visible in automated testing, right? I would say, you might say, boss, what you're saying is ridiculous because you're on the manual side and you're saying that I always use tools to do my automated testing. Yes, you might write your own scripts, but if you are a hacker, if you want to automate, you will definitely automate, but you always try to catch up, right? So there are tools which will help you to increase the coverage, right? As a person, as a hacker, I always as a consultant, right, who does offensive security testing, I have my constraints. My constraints are time. I have to sleep, I have to drink, I have to spend time with my girlfriend, I need weekends and a lot of stuff, right? I can't do everything manually. If I do manually, if I have time, good enough time, that means we are cheap, right? We are spending time on some things which we are not charged for, right? So we use automated just to understand what are the kind of places in which I can basically enter or I can start exploiting. For example, take Flipkart. How many of you think Flipkart traversal will take less than an hour's time. What I mean is, I'm a hacker. I want to attack Flipkart, and I basically want to know what are all the URLs that Flipkart has. What are all the dynamic URLs, or what are the static URLs Flipkart has. You test, right? You do performance testing. You do URL validations. You do input validations. How much time will it take for me to manually see, bind the links, each link I put it in an Excel sheet or a tracker to see this link has been tracked or not, this link has some input fields or not. It's extremely difficult. So what I do as a hacker is, I leave it to the engines. What those engines should do, or automated tools do, is they do my laborious tasks. They achieve certain security standard. Then I take up manual testing. Then I audit. Then I check whether the tool is giving. Tool is not God, right? Tool is not Jesus Christ, where whatever he says is correct, right? I have to validate whether whatever the output that tool is giving is correct or not. So fundamentally, if you have automated tests, if you know how to do automated testing, no offense meant for the automated guys, it works probably in other types of testing, but in security, if you are just learning automated tests and are not doing manual tests, that means you are not delivering up to the mark. Okay? So let's see demos of two products. I'll give you a case study of two products. These are considered as easy to use based on the ease to use, or based on the ease to automate things. We have selected these, and one of these is our product. What we observed when we started this company, we are a pretty small company. We are a 27-member company with a lot of support staff and hackers. We first took a website which is getting hacked more than which got hacked more than 10 times in a year. They tried patching it up, but they were not able to solve it. So we took it up and we said, let's completely audit this website. So when you go to a corporate, what they do is they automate the tests, right? So you don't find all possibilities of getting into that website. So we audited manually each and everything, like all the OWASP top 10 are covered, or WASP class is covered, like that. We took 1.5 months for our first project as a startup. We have the best guys. We have guys who worked in Indian Army, stuff like that. But we took 1.5 months to audit a website which has been hacked 10 times, right? If we keep spending time on just creating the mind share and trying to implement and hack those, it's becoming very difficult for us. So we try to automate certain things that a hacker do. For example, they check the ports, we automated that. They check the number of fields that are there, we automated that. So we kept challenging our own hackers, said that, see boss, if this site is not so big, if a bigger site comes to you guys, I don't know how many months you guys will take. I have promised them that it will be 1 month, but we took 1.5 months. So what they did is they did something different. They did not create an application to test an application. What they did is they created an operating system to test an application, right? The problem that many of the organizations face when it comes to security testing is they try to build something like an application to test an application, right? What happens with that is either your scalability is very less. For example, you go to IRCTC at 10 a.m. in the morning, that's it. You can't book a ticket. You win a record if you can book three tickets in a consecutive row, right? So why is that happening is because it's run as an application, right? It's not highly scalable. If 10,000 requests come at a second, it can handle, but if 10 lakh requests come at a single point of time, it cannot handle it. Same happens with automated testing. It takes a lot of CPU out. If you guys take up your mobile and run a scan through a simple tool, you can't do anything else on your iPad or mobile device because it takes so much of CPU and RAM out of you guys that you can't run it. So what we thought is, so if these kind of things happen parallelly, So if these kind of things happen parallelly, I cannot run more than 10 applications, right? I cannot basically load the server because my server itself is loaded. So we developed an application called nprobe where we embedded all the heuristics that happened over 1.5 year. Let's say somebody has found a 0 day in Java, right? So irrespective of what application you're running, irrespective of what software you're running, if your OS or if your web application server has Java installed in it, somehow I can get in. That's called 0 day. So 0 days are places where, or hacks where you have to fix them right now, today, right now. Otherwise, irrespective of what precaution you take, irrespective of what mechanism you build as a security system, they can be hacked, right? So we developed this with that intention, and then we started going to the startups, saying that why don't you use this application? We spent a lot of time and effort into that. They said, it has a lot of configurations that has to be done. My testing guys will not know. So what we developed is something which is easy for you guys to understand the, what you say, like, if you know what OWASP top 10 are, if you know what WASP class vulnerabilities are, you should be able to test it. You should be able to see what the results are, right? No configurations, no installations. How do we do that? We have to do it in a browser way, right? Through a browser or a mobile application or something which doesn't need any installation. So what we did is, we did through browser. We have chosen browser because most of the web applications are accessed through browsers, right? So our application is hosted on the cloud in Amazon, and we think it's highly scalable. So you sign up, right? You sign up and then it sends you an email like a typical social networking site. We created a login system where all you need is a Gmail or any personal ID to basically test your own web application. The only constraint in this application is it has to be up and running in public domain, because my servers are in public domain in Amazon, right? But if your server which you're testing is in your office network, cannot be accessed from outside, then you guys cannot do this. Are we clear on this? So, okay. So, okay, good. So, you have to automate and you have to put this server which you are testing outside. It has to be live, or it has to be in production, or it has to be somewhere which can be accessed by these Amazon servers, right? So what I'll do is, I'll show you the workflow and you can understand by just seeing it. I created a test. I can schedule a probe or I can launch it right now. But the constraint we have been facing is, legally you cannot run a scan on any website that doesn't belong to you. So you can or you should be able to do the scan on only the websites which you are authorized to do or you own them, right? So we have kept some testing mechanism to know whether that website belongs to you or not. So you can add a website which you want to scan, and after you add, it will come like this, and you have to validate. So the mechanism we are using to validate that this website belongs to you or your client or you are responsible for it is, you download the HTML file we have given you, you upload it in your webroot. That's how most of these Google apps and Gmail apps, these work, right? That way we can basically understand that this website belong to you. Are we clear till now? It's a simple application where you register, you log in, and then you have to verify that website belongs to you. Okay? So what we have done is we have verified one application called altius.com. Altius.com is our own website which we use to show demos. We said we are ready to give you guys most vulnerable web application which has almost every vulnerability, right? So this is it. It's up, it's live. You can basically test it whenever you want to test after this workshop, right? It will reset every day. Every day at 12 midnight, it resets itself so that none of you take away my server and play with me, right? So this website looks like a typical corporate website, right? In fact, it's looking bad, I know, but it has a typical. Okay, this is how I browse this. Right. You have just roughly scanned this website, right? How many of you can point some problems can happen on this website? Let's say somebody can say that it has a login mechanism, right? It could be weak. Yeah, what else can this website have as a problem? Great. You can tamper the data at the URL level. That's what he's trying to say. What else? Because clearly he saw that it's login.php, right? So there is no URL obfuscation or anything. So you can tamper the data. And it might be using a GET protocol, right? What else? What else can be a problem with this? So let's see, what this tool will give it as a problem. So I can select the websites I have added. So I start a probe. It gets up, as I said, it's an operating system. It's not an application which can just run on itself, because we load an operating system on the cloud. We embed a lot of modules into it and try to test it. So that's why it takes a little bit of time to start, but it'll be done in no time. So this is one tool which we developed. It's an opportunity for me also to showcase this. But there is one more tool which is little sophisticated. Here, you do not know anything about this tool, right? You don't have to have domain knowledge. You are all testing guys. If you know how to register, if you know how to log in, and then how to validate your website, you can do a scan on your website, which is an automated scan, right? So now let's take up an application called burpsuite, which is, you might be knowing it, right? So which is very well recognized, little difficult to configure and run. But what Srikanth will show you is, he'll show you an easy way to configure it, an easy way to scan it, right? We'll see whether this tool will give more results, okay? Or burpsuite will give more results, or our favorite manual testing will give more results, okay? So we'll pace it up, because we have to concentrate a lot on manual testings where you will enjoy a lot. So Srikanth will show you the burpsuite configuration and execution. So most of the hackers try to automate stuff through burpsuite. The advantage with burpsuite is, what this tool will not have, the tool you saw, Npro, will not have, is you can configure to a degree that you want to scan. For example, with burpsuite, you can not only scan the application you are seeing here, you can scan parameters that are being passed. You can scan, show me the headers. No, this open Firebug or inspect the element. Right? You can actually do auditing on your headers that pass to your server, and then you can actually do every element that is there. It could be a DOM element, it could be a CSS element, it could be anything. Any packet that goes out and comes in to your node can be audited. But what automated tools, like Burp is not completely automated, right? You have to put in some mindshare into it and then run a scan. But these automated tools I've shown, my tool, doesn't ask you for anything. Okay? Okay, go ahead. Show how burp suit looks like. You guys getting bored? Too much talking? I guess yes. Burp suit runs on Java. So that's a pro version. He invoked that application through command line. If any of you are having difficulty in understanding it. It pulls in a lot of modules. It pulls in a lot of, I told you guys, right, it's CPU oriented, it's memory oriented. So this takes out a lot of memory. This is how it looks like. Lot of content, lot of configurations. So he'll simply configure one website for you. So he is testing his local instance. So what we could not do earlier was with Entrobe, we could not test the websites that are hosted in your test environment, right? So we can only test what are there in the production or semi-production, which can be accessed online. But this you can do on your local machines as well. This can be run on Windows as well. What he is showing is a Linux version. Okay? So he is testing open localhost. Open localhost first. Yeah. So this is what the application is. Okay? A similar kind of website, but he did not spend time on graphics. So it's a vulnerable application. Now he want to run burp suit on this application. Okay? Where is it hosted? Whose local host? This machine. Okay? This machine has this application. And where is burp? No. Where is burp suit? In the same machine. It could be possible that when you test with your burp suit, your machine might be using burp suit, but her machine might have the application. All you need to do is, in your local network, you should be able to access it through URL if there is a domain associated in your internal network, or through an IP. Like in browser, you access based on IP also, right? That way you should be able to configure it. Now, wherever you see 127.0.0.1, that means you should replace it with the IP address of the application where it's hosted. Okay, clear? Good. He's trying to set up a proxy, because what burp suit tests is every packet that goes out and comes in has to be proxied so that burp suit should be able to understand what the traffic is and what you're doing. Okay? So why are we setting the proxy? The proxy is, I'll tell you in lame terms like this. So he is testing me, okay? And he sends me a packet, I send him a reply back. Simple server client architecture. But burp suit is an application, right? That's a third party application. Now how do I know that whatever we are communicating as a burp suit, that I track everything? I can't track everything, right? So what I do is I create a proxy. Every packet that goes out, goes through burp suit, comes to me. Whatever I respond, that goes to burp suit sends it to the client. It's a kind of man in the middle. It's tunneling, different nomenclatures, right? You guys got what I'm trying to say here? Okay, good. You have to keep the intercept on. Can you be a little slow? Can you repeat the same thing once again? Okay. So how did you load burp suit? After loading, what did you do? You configured the proxy. Okay. In the browser, he configured the proxy. Right? Settings, it varies based on the browser. If you are using Internet Explorer, it's a little different. Okay? He kept the local host address as a proxy address. Right? The port in which he is scanning is 8080. So now he's started intercepting it. So he's trying to log in. You want to talk, Srikanth? Okay. Trying on alts.com. Just turn off the intercept. Okay. Okay.
Bursuit is a proxy. It sits between the browser and the web server. Whenever user clicks on the particular, suppose login form, what is the get response going to the server? By using this proxy, we can modify the cookies. We can change the. We can bypass the client-side validations. Like one of the developer writes a JavaScript in client-side validation in HTML file. In here, he writes a client-side validation in his client side, in whatever the user sees, that is only the client side now. So he can easily bypass by using the proxies. We can change the data. We can change it manually by tampering the data, or we can intercept the data. After that, we can bypass the client-side validations, or all everything. We can bypass the JavaScript also.
So Srikanth, let's cut it short because we don't have time as we planned. Can you show an automated scan using vodQA on alts.com? Yeah, first you have to go to the target. You have to define the target. Okay, the target we are trying to test is alts.com. Do it on localhost. Do it on localhost 127 dot. Yeah. Change the target to localhost. Okay, I think he's having a technical problem because alts.com is not loading fast. Then they won't be able to see any issues. No issues. Let's jump into the manual testing. We only have 15 minutes left. If you guys can come back to me, he'll show you in person how vodQA works. So I talked to you about OWASP top 10, right? Right? 2013, they released some list out of which we believe the most dangerous are cross-site scripting and SQL injection. Majority of the clients who come to you knows primarily about these things, right? They want to know how easy it is to hack their database, which has customer information, which will happen through SQL injection. It's an injection technique, okay? The other one is called cross-site scripting. what cross-site scripting does is you have a ability to basically execute a script through your website on client's machine or any other referral machine. So let's say your website has a cross-site scripting. What I can do is I can go to your website, put in some code injection into there, and I send that URL to your clients. When your clients access the injected code, the cross-site script that it has, what happens is the website doesn't behave the way that you defined it, it behaves the way that I defined it. Are we clear? So SQL injection helps you to take database out, and cross-site scripting helps you to steal your customer information. Okay? So you generally do not expect how SQL injection comes in. So there are different cheat codes. Before we go into how SQL injection is cheat codes and all these things, I'll tell you some basics about SQL injection. Right? We don't have a board. Anyway, so can you show those cheat codes quickly? Impressive. Yeah. So how do you write SQL query? Select asterisk from table name where ID equal to this and password equal to this, right? When you write a query, database query, especially login query or something, just hold this. Next. So how do you write a SQL query when you do it in the backend? Select asterisk from, let's say the table name is users, where ID equals something. You pass a parameter here, right? And pass equal to something, right? That's how many of us execute a SQL query. How many of you write like this? Right? How else the other guys write? If you write. So majority, 90% of the people write like this. Now, what we can do with this is, even big names, big companies which are having huge turnovers, use this kind of code. Open that SSL, ESSL certificate. ESSL, yeah. So keep it secret. Whatever stays in this room, stays in this room. This company runs biometric testing, biometric access, attendance management, stuff like that, which is security. So for them, security is a paramount importance, right? I'll execute a cheat code here, and let's see whether this will take me into this or not. Let's type admin. Yeah, type it. What it says here is admin, single quote, space, or 1 equal to 1, dash dash. Okay? I'll write a password as exclamation, this one, symbols, some random symbols, okay? Just type it there. Okay. Now input single quote and on. Input see, many people use CAPTCHA to make sure that there are no bots and we don't automate the stuff, we don't brute force. But this guy forgot capital P. This guy forgot to do a basic security exercise. Let's see if we can log into this. I don't know who that company is, 117 to 46. All I know is there is a login that is welcoming me to test me if there is SQL injection or not. Yeah, change the proxy. Is the Wi-Fi up? Yeah, just quickly type it. K-A-R-Y-K. Okay. So now I got into this company's entire tracker. So if your organization has something like you have to come at 9 o'clock in the morning, leave at 6 o'clock, you have to be there at least 8 hours. And if they are using this kind of software, you can log in, you can change whatever the data you want to change. How I logged in is as admin, right? What is the username I gave? Let Srikanth basically separate you into simple pieces where you can understand the query he has executed. Now paste the username which we have typed in unsaved dog. Yeah. Place this entire string here. Place this entire string between the ID double quotes. And place the password also, right? So, okay, put it like this. Single quote, single quote. Just remove the double quotes and put a single quote. Okay. Can you just hold on this mic? I'll be a little quicker. So, if you see the string, we initially use double quotes, right? Keep it aside. Now, this is how I write a SQL query, right? So now, if you break it into pieces, what I'm trying to tell my database is, select asterisk from users where ID equal to admin or 1 equal to 1, right? And I'm commenting out everything. In SQL, if you keep two marks, that is commenting it out. Or in fact, hash is commenting out. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell my backend engine is, the user ID is admin or just pass me on. We got it? 1 equal to 1 is always true. Okay? In an OR condition, you have left side. If it's true, it passes you on. It doesn't execute the right side, just to save some time. But if your left side here is your user ID equal to admin, which doesn't have any importance, but I'm choosing the username as admin. Okay? And then the password I'm not selecting or executing the query further. I'm just commenting it out by saying the next condition you have to check is or 1 equal to 1 minus minus. So it passes you in. This is what precisely SQL injection is. I inject some codes to basically understand whether I can bypass your backend or not. These are injections. Are we good? So how do you test if a particular application has injection or not? I can give you thousands of cheat codes, but there is an easy way when you guys do manual testing is, can you show the single quote in the URL with the error message for any website which has SQL injection? Yeah. So what he tried to do is he has kept single quote in both. Yeah. He has kept single quote in both username and password, right? So let's see what it throws us. Okay. It throws us, you have an error in SQL syntax, and the database I'm using is MySQL server, and there is an issue at somewhere. If any application you're using in the back end, if you input single quote anywhere across the input fields or URLs, if it throws any database error, that database can be compromised in no time by using the cheat codes we give you. You got it? The reason is, if you're putting single quote in the username on whatever the backend is, that means it's executing the single quotes, right? So simple validation is you put a single quote wherever you want to test. You might be testing in the URLs. URLs also just put a single quote in login.php. Okay. So that's how you test a SQL injection. There are some cheat codes. I have given you guys one cheat code, right? Admin, single quote, space or, space 1 equal to 1 minus minus. Like that, there are thousands of cheat codes. Srikanth, can you open those cheat codes quickly? So whenever you test for SQL injection, make sure these cheat codes are tested in the fields that you do. For example, you generally test for total length is specified according to the specified limits or not, input length, right? While doing that, just add some use cases into your testing mechanism, which are these. Okay, I'll send across the presentation to you guys. So if you add these, right, that means you almost tested the SQL injection cheat codes. This is a basic level of testing, manual testing the SQL injection. Cool? Right. So in the same application, now let's see how to implement cross-site scripting and steal some user cookies. XSS is a little difficult to implement for you guys to do and do the POC, proof of concept, to steal the cookies and all. But at least you can show your customers the possibility of injection by running a script in an input field. Shrikant, can you just open Altius and show XSS quickly? We're running out of time. Yeah, just put that. Yeah. Okay, so what he is trying to do is, he is running a script. How do I know that he is running a script is, he is starting with a script tag. Okay, that means I am either executing a JavaScript or any script. So I am basically trying to run a script code rather than a simple string structure, like searching for Mohan Gandhi. That's not what I'm trying to do. Searching for a particular script, right? Let's see what that gives you. Search, press search, execute script. Sorry? Don't show the cookies, it will be a little difficult for them to understand. Show just a script, how script can be run. Right? So with this script, I'm able to run on your browser, in your browser, right? So I wrote a simple script. The script I wrote is script echo print 0. That's it. But if I can run echoing on your browser, I can definitely run entire JavaScript, right? I can steal your HTML5 cookies. I can do a lot of stuff. So how do you test for cross-site scripting is, you put a script tag in it. Right? There are some cheat codes for XSS as well, and that is manual testing. Okay. Let's see what results our tool has given, because we could not run burp suit. The report that Nprobe has given me, it crawled the entire website for 8 minutes and it found 27 issues, out of which 6 are critical, 2 are medium, 5 are low, and 14 are just informational. So it says my website is not secured at all. And what are the issues? So it found us one cross-site scripting at this location, which we also executed manually, right? And another XSS in query string. There is one SQL injection in login.php. There is one cross-site scripting in guestbook. And guestbook has 3 parameters. All the 3 can be accesses. Let me tell you guys, I forgot to mention that point. It's not only there on the forms part. It could be there on the variables as well. When you send post variables, get variables, you can actually embed a script code in it. So these tools will also tell you to basically test those cookies and variables as well, which has an advantage over manual testing. Okay? So you can launch an automated scan now. I'm sorry that we could not show Bob, so it took away a lot of time. But at least you got to know how manual test is done and how automated test is done, right? Cool? Yeah. Sorry? CCVS kind of ratings for this? Yeah. So there is one more standard for reporting. For identification of vulnerabilities and classification, we have OWASP and WASC, right? But when you generate reports to your end customers, based on the kind of vulnerability it is, there is a scoring mechanism through which you can tell that this vulnerability is of this much of criticality, right? Saying it in a blanket way, saying that out of these top 10, all these are of equal importance, client might not understand which one to fix first, right? So there is a scoring mechanism called CVSS score through which you can actually score the vulnerabilities. Okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, good. Sorry?
So the categorization of high, medium is standard across industries, or it's?
It varies from WASC to OWASP to different other standards. Generally, once the OWASP standard is defined for 2013 year, it's defined like that. So for a year, they won't change.
So are there any security compliances, certifications or something which?
Okay, so his question is valid. He's asking, are there any security compliance that client has to subscribe to so that he can showcase that his website is secure? For website and companies, e-commerce or any application which has payment integrated in it, they go for a compliance called PCI. Payment industry compliance, PCA compliance. For networks, there are different other standards. So, but generally, the standardization people ask for is your website compliant against OWASP top 10 securities or not?
These tools are all for detection of...
I think we are running out of time. I'll take all the questions offline. I'll be here another 1 hour. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohan. Just quick pointers. We'll be having a tea break right now for the next 20-25 minutes. So you can walk down to pantry. Other update is there are some more story cards that's been put up for the open space. I urge you to use this opportunity to network. And if you have some common interest, maybe some questions, you can put them up there and have that discussion. Also, this is the second tea break, so guys who have been playing the icebreaker game are able to give it to Matangi and me, so we'll probably see who's the winner and then announce in the closing ceremony.
Also, do utilize this break as an opportunity to network with people and talk to others and make friends, basically. Also, the schedule app was created by Sachin. If Sachin can please stand up, yeah. This is Sachin. So he would like to have some feedback from you as to how user-friendly the app was, or did you like it, what did you like about it, etc. So whenever you can find him or catch hold of him during the break, he would like to hear about what you feel.
Yeah, feel free to catch me. I will be around here. Any feedback or any kind of suggestions you want to give, do let me know. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.